Hi friends, welcome to today's video. It is that time of the year already for the Sephora sale recommendations. The sale is just days away. So I wanted to share with you some of my favorite products, some things that I think are actually worth the investment, worth putting on your wish list, putting them in your cart, because I think that the formulas are great. They perform very well. And I do feel like if you're gonna spend quality dollars on something, it needs to be a quality product, right? So these, just looking at the range of products, I think are pretty fantastic, and I think you're gonna love these products. If you're looking for something in these categories, hopefully this video is gonna be helpful for you. And since we have so much ground to cover, you gotta get a snack, get cozy, and let's begin because we have products in every single category. We're gonna go in order from how I personally apply products, so I always start with my base complexion, so that's what we're gonna do first. One primer from Iconic London. This is the Velvet Smooth Primer. This is a primer that I discovered earlier this past summer and actually really have quite enjoyed. I use this all the time to help blur out the skin. I do try to focus this in the areas where I have larger pores, which is right in this zone here because I do have combination oily skin. So I like to use this in sort of pinpoint and target specific areas. I have used this all over and it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It actually does blur the skin. It kind of smooths over the pores, so your skin is softer, smoother. The pores are less visible. It doesn't shrink your pores, but it makes them look less noticeable. So when you put your foundation on top, it looks its absolute best. So this is one recommendation for sure if you're looking for a smoothing primer. Are you locked in? Because I'm about to tell you the biggest secret of the year. The best foundations are right here in this video. Let's start with the latest foundation that has joined my collection that I had been wanting to try for such a long time. I've heard nothing but positive things about this, and I thought I've got to see why so many people love this all across different social media platforms, and it's the Benefit Porefessional. This is truly the most blurring foundation I think I've ever used. You put this on, your skin looks blurred, smooth, perfected. It has quite a bit of coverage, which I'm surprised. I don't use a full pump of this, by the way. I use probably about half because I do mix it with some other products that I'm gonna show you in a minute. This on its own is absolutely incredible. You will be blown away at how perfected your skin looks. This is something that I would recommend for all skin types. If you have dry skin, you wanna make sure you just prep it in advance before going in with this product. Prep your skin nicely with hydrating products, and I think you will enjoy this as well over the top of those hydrating primers. But as far as normal skin combo, which is what I have on oily skin, this is incredibly beautiful. And when I first applied this, the first thing I thought, now I see why people love it. Now I see why people are talking so highly about this product, because the coverage is insane and the way it looks on the skin, flawless. I have this mixed in with the next foundation that we're going to talk about, which is a new foundation for the Makeup by Mario brand. This is the Surreal Skin Natural Finish. It's going to be a frosted glass bottle. I have half a pump of this mixed in with half a pump of Porefessional today. And my skin is blurred, it's smooth, and I do have it over the Iconic London primer that I just put in the T-zone area. And I told you, the top foundations of the year in this video. This is beautiful. This gives such a nice coverage to the skin. I use this on its own. I also mix it in with the Benefit foundation. And this is one of my favorite products I think Makeup by Mario has ever done. Like, honestly, the way this looks on the skin, it looks natural, but has such a beautiful finish to the skin. It covers nicely, never feels heavy, never looks dry, never feels cakey. It doesn't even feel like I put anything on my skin. It is truly one of the most special foundations that I have discovered this year. One of the best foundations that's launched this year. Hands down, that is incredible. So if you like natural finish, you will really enjoy this. If you want something that's very full coverage, super blurring, and long wear, the Benefit is for you. Now, I didn't forget about anyone who has dry skin or very dry skin that wants radiance and dewiness, but a juicy look to the skin, not shimmer, not radiance in the form of sparkle. This right here, the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. This has been in the works for quite some time, I'm sure, but we have waited, fans have waited from Natasha Denona for this product, okay? If you tried the High Glam Concealer and love that, you will absolutely love this foundation because they work beautifully together. But this is perfection for someone with dry skin to very dry skin. It is very hydrating and it has a lot of skincare benefits into this product. It has Korean technology built into it. There's something special about this formula. It takes all the things that people look for in a foundation: hydrating, radiant, oil controlling, blurring, smoothing, skincare benefits. It's all in one bottle. It's crazy how all that came together, but it is incredibly beautiful. I love this for those days where I feel like my skin is just a little bit drier. I do have to set this a little bit more on the T-zone because I do have oil production there. I think this is beautiful. I think she did an incredible job. The packaging, A+, A to Z. She's thought of everything, and this is incredible. So this is something that I would recommend 100% if you have dry skin, leaning to very dry skin. You will love this. And I feel like with those three foundations, those are the foundations of the year, and I've covered all the bases for oily skin, normal skin. Anyone who has dry skin, I've got you covered with those foundations. They are truly chef's kiss. I've got two concealers that I want to share with you and recommend. The first one is from Estée Lauder. It's the Double Wear Concealer. This came out earlier this past year. I have loved this since the first day that I used it. It's incredibly beautiful. The coverage is full coverage. It never looks heavy, doesn't set onto fine lines. It's smooth. It also kind of blurs the skin. It's everything you want a concealer to be. The Double Wear foundation is also incredible. It's got a cult following for a reason, and now we get it in the concealer. This is long wearing. This is going to set pretty quickly, and it stays on. And it doesn't move. It doesn't get weird. It doesn't turn and do kind of funky things throughout the day. It's beautiful without powder. It is incredible if you set it with powder. That's what I have on in the innermost corner of my eyes today because my shade is quite too light for me. This shade is 1N. That's my year-round shade. I got some color over the summer, and I can't use this as my main concealer all over because then my under eyes look more white compared to foundation and bronzer that I apply. But this is truly magnificent. It is going to be the concealer that I always have in my collection. And then the other one is the Faux Filtered Luminous Matte Concealer from Huda. This is a mini that I recently picked up because she launched a lot of her top sellers in mini form. I did a video of my top concealers, my top 5 concealers, probably almost 2 years ago at this point, and this was one of the concealers in my top 5 slot. I since decluttered that full-size product and I bought that old shade in this new mini packaging, and that's what I have on this side of my under eyes mixed with the Estée Lauder, and it's truly so smooth, so blurring, has quite a bit of coverage, but what makes this really special, it's a matte finish, but it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look dry. It's not that old school matte formulation that looks dry, that gets drier with time as the day goes on. This is incredibly beautiful. It's a modern take on a matte formulation with the coverage that you need, and it just looks incredible. It just truly does. And the two of those concealers together are chef's kiss. However, each individually are just, again, top tier. Next category is setting powders, and I actually have just one powder. If you were to pick up one loose setting powder that you can use to set your makeup, set your under eyes, or do that baking technique and lock everything in so that your makeup wears all day from when you put it on in the morning to when you take it off at the end of the day, it's going to be the Huda Beauty. This is such a great powder. I have no idea what she put in this powder, but it is truly magical. It blurs, it smooths, it sets your makeup, it looks like a filter when you put it on, and it makes your under eyes look incredible if you use it like I did today over the concealer. If you use this to set your entire face, it's gonna look great. I use a powder puff for the under eye area, but you can use a brush, a big fluffy powder brush for the rest of the face. Full size, mini, take your pick. She's got different colors. I have a few shades in my collection. I use this one today. This is the Cherry Blossom Cake, which has that light pink tint to it to further give me more brightness under the eyes with those two concealers that I spoke about just a few minutes ago. I love the minis because it's just easier to travel. It doesn't take up a lot of space in a makeup bag. She has recently changed the packaging, so I have the old packaging of the full size. This is the Sugar Cookie, which looks white, but it's translucent. They do have fragrance-free options as well. I'm going to link to both of them for you down below. But the new packaging is going to have rounded edges, kind of like what you see in the mini, but just obviously bigger. This is Elite. There's a reason why people love this and rave about this, because truly the formula is so special. The powder feels like silk in between your fingers. There's just something very blurring and very special about this. So if you had to pick one powder, let it be this. Bronzers. I'm going to start with my pressed powder bronzers. I've got the Smooth Blur Bronzer from ABH in the shade called Warm Sands. Just the formula itself is beautiful. Pick a shade that is best suited for your skin tone. And then the reformulated bronzers from Haus Labs. I love this. The shade that I use in Haus Labs is Bronzed Umber, which is the light. I also have the old version of this powder. This one's slightly deeper and it is beautiful. It goes on like velvet. It never looks patchy, it never looks muddy. It blends like a dream over foundation, whether I set it or I don't. It is just absolute perfection. And the formula of Haus Labs, all the products are definitely top tier, skincare based ingredients, clean formulations. So again, one of those good brands. If you're looking for a bronzer, check this one out. Or if you want something that's smoothing and also blurring, this one from ABH is perfection as well. This is what I have on today. This is just so smooth, so soft, blendable. It doesn't look heavy, feels like silk on the skin, blends beautifully with any fluffy brush right over your foundation. Again, whether you set your foundation with powder or you skip powders, this is gonna go right over that with ease, and it never skips, never drags. It doesn't kind of gather in one space, in one area. It just kind of blends and gives you just such a beautiful kind of golden glow to the skin without shimmer. Both of these are going to be more on the matte side. The Haus Labs feels like butter, but has that soft, silky, almost like a creamy feel to it. Very, very beautiful formulas. None of these have shimmer, so don't worry about looking like you're too shimmery or sparkly with the bronzers. These are just, again, top tier. The last bronzer is actually a liquid formula, and it's one of the newest products from the brand Natasha Denona. This is an incredible bronzer. It's a glass frosted bottle with a beautiful bronze cap on there. It just looks so special, does it not? This is the High Sculpt liquid bronzer. So I use this today as my cream or liquid bronzer first, and then I went over it with the powder bronzers that I spoke about earlier. This is also something that I use to mix into foundations, because since I did get some color over the summer, most of my foundations are way too light. So what I do is I actually take some of this and mix it into those foundations to get the color where I need it to be. But this is just absolutely beautiful. The color that I have is Foxy, which is described as a light shade. But when you blend this in, it feels so luxurious. It feels so expensive. It's Natasha Denona, so of course the formula is going to be up there, right? But when you blend this in, it just goes on so smooth, so blurred. It looks like you just naturally have some color, and of course it's because of the tone as well. However, the formula itself is really one of the best liquid bronzers that I've used. And dare I say, at Sephora, is it unmatched? Probably so. I don't know about another liquid formula that is going to top this for me personally in my collection. That is just smooth. It is like butter. And look at my hand with the product on. You see how blurred that looks, and then my hand obviously with nothing on there, but you can see how it just kind of smooths the skin in a way that I've never experienced with any other liquid bronzer. Truly super special. If you know anything about me, you know that I adore blush. It is one of those products that truly just makes me happy. The moment I put blush on, it's like everything comes together and all is good. I had to narrow it down quite a bit for this video. I would have showed you my entire drawer. We would have been here for hours talking about blushes, but I'm gonna be good and I'm gonna steer you in the direction of these brands. You just pick the shade that suits you best, that you want to use. First one, baked blushes. The Kosas baked blushes are just incredible. The brand has called these Blushes Life, and yes, it is true. Blush is life. The moment you put this on, it brings so much life to your skin. This formula, baked at Sephora, cannot be beat. I love these. Another powder blush that is like a suede finish, very long wear, that stays on from the moment you put it on. It does not fade one bit at all for hours and hours and hours. It's the Face Bond blushes from Urban Decay. I have the shade Wholehearted. That's my favorite color. And like I said, it's a suede finish. So when you put this on, let's say over one of those blurring foundations, your skin is gonna look absolutely dynamite with this on. This is so beautiful, the formula. Now for creams, this next product is also one of the newer launches for this year that I think is really special. It's a cream blush from ABH. This is what I have on as my base today. And then I did go over it with a little bit of the Kosas baked blush. So this is very special because you can totally customize your look based off of your needs, your wants, desires for the day. I have the option in pink, which gives me 3 pink tones. I actually mix all 3 pink shades because I can do that. The formula is creamy, it's blendable, it's so incredibly smooth. But what I love about this is that it's creamy, but not too greasy. It's not emollient, it doesn't look shiny, there's no shimmer to it. It has just the right amount of creaminess to blend and move it around and get it where you want it. But it's not so creamy that it slips and slides, that it just feels sticky. When you touch your face, you don't feel sticky. You don't feel like you need to set this with a powder on top. You can do that for extra longevity, but I love this as a base to any blush if I want to do that layering technique. And so this one in the pink has a cool tone pink, a candy pink, and a soft pink. So you can, like I said, customize this so you get so much bang for your buck here because you have essentially 3 different blushes individually. If you mix them all, it gives you 4 shades. However, you can also mix 2. That's 5 shades. You can do so many options in this with 3 colors. The possibilities are really endless. And I love this formula. It's so great. And then, of course, for those that like that dewy, glowy blush, look no further than Charlotte Tilbury. She launched these this year, and they're incredible. They're pigmented, they're creamy, but they are very, very glowy. Probably not the best formula for someone with oily skin, but if you want to try it with oily skin, by all means, go for it. The shade that I love is called Rosy Glow. It literally is 1 swipe color. 1 swipe color. She's not messing around. I love Charlotte. She will always be one of the queens of makeup. I just love her products. And this is truly perfection, but the glow that you get from this is a natural glow. It's not a sparkle where it looks too frosted, too glittery, unnatural, not flattering. Beautiful formula. One of these will last you a very, very long time. And like I said, the color, 1 swipe color, the formula is spectacular. Choose a shade that you really love because you can't go wrong with any of those blushes. Those are just elite. Top tier, chef's kiss, I love. I've got 1 highlighter recommendation, and this one is going to be a little bit more on the pricier side just because I think this is the perfect time to save money when it comes to Armani Beauty. This is a very bougie brand that I've talked about in previous videos plenty. This is a brand that I do feel like their products are truly worth the money. The products are incredibly beautiful. So if you want to splurge and treat yourself and you're looking for a highlighter, let it be the Acqua highlighter. The one that I have is shade 3. It looks like it could be quite dark, but when you put this on with your finger and blend it in, it literally looks like it's one with the skin. You don't know where it starts and ends because it just melts into the skin like nothing else. The applicator is also really great. I don't swipe this applicator onto the skin because that's going to put too much on, and it's really, there's no need. You don't need that much. I will show you a swatch of this so you can see. That's a full swatch. So imagine if you took this against your skin and just kind of swiped it. It's a lot. What I do is I take it from the back of my hand and I work it into my fingers, and then I just kind of start patting and pressing just gently. But when you blend this out, do you see what it does to the skin? It just gives you the prettiest, healthiest, yummiest glow to the skin. And when you look down at it, you don't see big pieces or particles sitting on top of the skin. This truly melts right into all your base layers in such a magical way that you just are going to want to keep using this. Every single day, this will become your go-to highlighter. Thank me later. Let's zip through some eye products because, again, this could take a long time if I went through every single thing. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite palettes, some brands to consider if you are wanting to buy yourself a palette. So I'm going to start off with the palette or brand that is truly such a treat to use. It's Natasha Denona. I've got several of her palettes. These are so worth the price. Even without the discount, this is where it's at. I love this formula. She gives you such a great range of finishes. You have mattes, you have satins, you have shimmers, you have metallics, then you have sparkle toppers. She has such a great way and such a vision to put all of that together in such a nice color story that truly you get everything that you can possibly want. So today, since my top is more on the warm side, kind of like a pumpkin-y color, I went with the I Need a Warm palette. And that's what this looks like on the inside. It is just absolutely divine. If you are going to buy yourself a palette, please let it be one from Natasha Denona. You will not regret that purchase. I promise you, you will not. The formulas are blendable, they're pigmented, user-friendly. Don't be scared by this range of colors or the amount of shades. This is so workable for anyone, from someone who's beginning to start off with a collection or building a collection of products, someone who's starting off with eyeshadow, to someone who's been using eyeshadow for years, to someone with more advanced skills. This is absolutely incredible. The formula cannot be beat. I'm going to say it. Can't be beat. Nope. Not in my opinion, it cannot. Another palette that's also quite the staple in my collection is the Makeup by Mario. There's two options. The one that I reach for the most is the Master Mattes, the neutrals, because I love these shades. I use a lot of these deeper shades to do liner work. So I don't typically use a lot of gels or liquids or pencils. I use a lot of powders for liner. I feel like it gives me impact, but it's a little on the softer side. These are just so beautiful. It's an all matte palette, so it gives you all the basics that you need. So if you're looking for something on the cooler side, definitely check these out. But something else that's also noteworthy that is a new product that's only been out for just a couple weeks is this new setup from Patrick Ta. The formula is the same, I believe, to the other palettes that have been out for a long time. This is just the 6-pan setup without the shimmers, without the creams. So if you look at the larger palettes, he's got different textures, some mattes with some shimmers and creams. This is all matte and it's only 6 shades. The one that I have is light, and I've used this a whole lot more than I even thought I did or thought I would. These have all the shades to build a very basic everyday look. So if you want something that's smaller, maybe more travel friendly, maybe your makeup bag is on the smaller side and you can't fit the Natasha Denona palettes, check out this one for some kind of warmer tones. There's a few kind of more neutrally shades, but there's 3 options based off of the skin tone. I just went with the light. You can also fit the Makeup by Mario in a smaller palette, or a smaller makeup bag. So either of these don't take up a lot of space. These are a little bit larger. You can also, let me go back to the Natasha Denona, there's little pinholes. You can rearrange these, or if you've got multiples, you can create your own custom palette, which I think is pretty badass. You can do that. Just throwing some options out there. Now these next 2 products that are for the eyes are gonna give you a little bit more pizzazz. Think about taking those palettes that we just talked about and elevating them to a more special occasion, or maybe for me, because I can, or just because I feel like I can, it's gonna be a glitter topper. Now the first one is from Tower 28. These are some sort of glitter shadow sticks. They're very cooling and they're very soft. Comes with the sub cap, please keep that, otherwise your product is going to dry out over time. But when you put these on, let me just do a swatch. Do you see how sparkly and metallic these are? Very pretty, super easy to use, very cooling. You just take it, one swipe and go. Obviously you wanna blend out the edges a little bit so it looks a little bit more like you put some energy into it. You just take the stick right across the eye, tap and blend the edges, boom, mascara, call it a day. They're cooling, they're soft, they're just absolutely beautiful. I have just one shade, and it's the shade called Roxy, and these are called the Go Go Cooling Shadow Sticks. Super pretty, but this has a lot of a metallic finish and some sparkle, some glitter. So if you want some extra pizzazz, or to take a basic matte everyday kind of look and amp it up for date night, for a nighttime look, or like I said, just because, get one of these. It's the easiest thing to take a look from day to night. And then these, there's some controversy about these because of the price point. It's $42 for 2 of them, but if you get the discount, it's even cheaper. These are so beautiful. Let me just swatch these. These are new. He basically expanded the range. So these had existed for some time. This shade in particular is called In Your Dreams. And this one is a new shade extension. Stop. Oh, this is for the glitter lovers. Okay? This is for the glitter lovers. If you love glitter, you're gonna love these. And yes, $42 is quite a bit, but if you get a discount on it, it helps a little bit. I will say, if you love glitter, you're gonna love these. If you don't do glitter that often, don't. Just get one of these. This is half the cost, this Go-Go stick from Tower 28. Don't invest in this if you're not gonna use it. This is only for those that wear glitter on a consistent basis to make that $42 price point actually worth it. I could just sit here and stare at this all day. And the way this catches the light, the pearl in this is dynamite. That's my 2 cents on those. I love those. Okay, so the last eyeshadow product is actually a cream shadow. It's the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes Longwear Cream Shadows. I have 3 shades and I love these. Out of these 3, I use these 2 the most. I use Sandstone every single day as my eyeshadow primer. It's not marketed to be an eyeshadow primer, but it works at controlling my oil production on my lids. It prevents anything from creasing, whether it's creams or powders. Doesn't matter how many layers, this does the trick. But it also smooths out the lids, covers the veins, discoloration. It kind of evens out the tone of my lids before putting on eyeshadow. The mauve has a little bit more of a, obviously mauve color, and I'm gonna show you a swatch of that. But what makes this so special is not only how long wearing these are, but these go on like a dream. It is smooth, it is matte, it is velvet. It feels like velvet when you blend this in with your finger. That's how I apply mine. This is just incredible. Do you see the finish of my skin? It is smooth like butter. It really is so special. I adore this formula. So if you want a cream shadow, check these out. Next up is mascaras. We're gonna zip through these. I have 3 call outs to share with you today that I think are absolutely incredible. The first one is gonna give you mega volume drama to the max. This makes the lashes look so incredible. It's the Exaggerized Volume Mascara from Charlotte Tilbury. This is just truly beautiful. I will show you the wand real quickly. It's got a curved wand and it fits perfectly against the shape of your eye. It doesn't feel awkward or unnatural. This gives you lashes that you didn't even know you had, okay? The component is glass, and it is just, it's a work of art. You wanna put this out on your vanity and showcase this because this is so beautiful, the black and the gold, I love it. Tower 28 Make Waves Mascara has been a favorite of mine for such a long time. I love the shade Jet, but the brown one is also equally as beautiful, and I love this slight curve that this has. This is going to give me a little bit more of a flexible bend versus the Charlotte Tilbury wand. There's going to be a little bit more gaps between each of the bristles. It's also going to be a more plasticky bristle brush. You have shorter bristles at the bottom and slightly longer ones on that top rounded edge. So you really can get in there and give yourself a nice lash look. This is a Clean at Sephora brand, so it's going to use really good ingredients that are going to be good for your lashes. I love the way this makes my lashes look. It makes them twice as long, twice as thick. The volume is insane. I absolutely love. The last mascara will always be in my collection. It's the Tarte Tubing Mascara. They have 2 different options, the purple and the gold. To me, they both perform the same way. That is the wand of this mascara, so you can see that. This is for anybody who exclusively uses tubing formulas, or if you're going to a special event. We've got holidays coming up. Those are gonna be some really long days. You get up early, start getting yourself ready for the holiday festivities. You're getting home late. You're gonna want a mascara that's going to stand up to all of that. This comes off in little tubes, so you don't have the raccoon eyes when you go to take this off. If you get caught in the rain, which actually I have before, this doesn't come off. It's little flakes, and what you do is you just take your finger, boom, flake it off. Or take a brush, sweep it off like it never even happened, and it doesn't ruin the rest of your makeup. So if you need tubing, look no further. Brows, one product. I am a huge fan of brow pens, but this one brand is the queen of brows. So if you need anything for brows, ABH has got you covered. Anastasia Beverly Hills can do no wrong when it comes to brows. That is what brought her to this level of being not only rich, but super famous with celebrities because of her formulas and her products. This is the new Micro Stroke Brow Pen. I have the shade medium brown, and it is, I'm gonna say it, my favorite high-end brow pen that's ever been created. I love this, and it comes with a spoolie. Can you name a brand that gives you a brow pen with a spoolie? I'll wait. It doesn't exist, okay? It does not exist. This is incredible to give you the look of actual hair, but thin strokes because the applicator is a thin brush tip, and it is absolutely perfection when it comes to filling in the brows to make it look like your brows are fuller and thicker than they naturally are, which for me is something that I absolutely need because my brows are very thin and very sparse. I've got gaps. I've got hair that just doesn't grow. Here in this brow, I have a gap where it's like a bald spot. I don't know how that happened because it's like right in through here. Not in the front, not on the edge. It's smack dab right in here. Yeah, it had to just happen that way for me. I don't know. But this has filled it in, and you don't even know it until I point it out. this is what you need. You need this brow pen, absolutely. I've got one eyeliner to share with you for this recommendations video. It's the Kosas Soul Gazer eyeliner. These are a gel formula. They've got so many basic shades and then also some fun shades. I use Allure every single day to tightline. It's a really nice, rich, dark brown. It almost looks black at a distance. I love that it comes with a smudger. It also has a nice kind of grip here, which is made to hold the product really nicely. It's a twist up. You can sharpen it because it comes with a sharpener too. So that end that has a smudger is also your sharpener too, which is pretty cool. And it just kind of snaps back in. You have a lid that snaps really nice and tight so it doesn't dry out. And I will show you a swatch of this and how creamy and pigmented this is. It goes on with ease. No heavy pressure is needed to apply this product. I use it to tightline and also smudge across the upper lashes. It works great in the waterline and it stays on. It doesn't kind of move around. I love this, and it's my only eyeliner recommendation for this video. Now let's get into lip products because I have so much lip products, it's kind of wild. Let's go with lip liners. I'm gonna point you in the direction to a few brands. Number one, the Kosas Hot Liner formula is so incredibly special, pigmented, but it stays on all day long. I just don't know what they put in this formula, but this is truly some of the best lip liners at Sephora. Pick a shade, any shade. I have two that I absolutely love. My most used though is Mega, which is a cool tone pink. And then Beyond is also a beautiful shade for every day. I can't do this video without pointing in the direction to the Queen, Charlotte Tilbury. This is elite. I said what I said. Her lip liner formula is spectacular. It's creamy, but slightly on the drier side. Stay with me. It's creamy enough to apply and get this to show up in just one swipe. But it's slightly drier, which gives it the longevity that this is known for. And you need that. You don't want a lip liner that is so emollient, so slippery that it kind of disappears and it goes away. You want this to stay on, and that's why she created this formula that's creamy, but slightly on the drier side, and it's perfection. Pillow Talk Fair is my absolute favorite. Iconic Nude is great. The original Pillow Talk, any shade will work. Same thing with this brand, ABH. This lip liner formula is so good. It's a classic wooden sharpener pencil, which is so nostalgic. The shade that I have on today is actually one of my newer options for my collection, and that is Muted Mauve. This color, stop. I use this color to line and fill in my lips, and I will show you a swatch. Let me try to do it on this hand, my non-dominant hand. That is the shade Muted Mauve. And look, my tip is kind of worn down. It is due to be sharpened. That's how much I love this pencil. When I bought it and tried it for the first time, I thought this is the perfect pencil for me to overline that is slightly on the cooler side compared to my natural lip color, but it fades so beautifully, has a little bit of depth to it. I love this color. This formula is so special, so creamy and pigmented, so I love that. If you are looking for a lip liner stain, I like this formula from Huda Beauty. These are new. These are called the Lip Contour Stains. I have one color called Baby Pink, and this is honestly my lips but better. It's a little bit more of a slightly brighter pink when it dries down, but I use this when I have very long days and I want my lip combo to stay on. I will start with the stain, and then I will put a lipstick on top, a lip liner, lip gloss. This will stay on all day long. It's got a felt tip applicator with a rounded edge, and I will swatch some of this here for you. It's very light. This is the lightest color, and I chose that specifically because I wanted this to fade really nicely, and it does. So when you pick a lip liner stain that matches your lips closely, as close as possible, when it starts to fade, no one's gonna know that it's faded. It's just gonna look like your lips have color to it. Okay, so now let's get into some glosses. Let's start off with Lawless. These are the plumping glosses. I love these. Pick a shade, any shade. They're plumping, they're hydrating, they feel incredible, fills in the lines of the lips, gives you the glossiest, most reflective lip you will ever put on. I love them, obviously, because I have so many. The Rare Beauty Gloss is also a really nice formula. I have loved this so much. I actually made a dent. I am about to here with this gloss because I love using this with the Kosas Mega Liner. This right here is the combo, or the lip stain with this. Just stop it right now. I love this formula. I love the applicator, the packaging. This is so pretty. She did such a great job. It's a beautiful cool tone pink that is a true cool tone pink with a little bit of like a shimmer sparkle through it. It is just dynamite, and I love it so much. And then my Fenty Gloss Bomb Sticks. I can't do this video without these. Again, pick a shade, any shade. It truly is one swipe color, okay? One swipe, and I'm gonna show you this with no cuts. One swipe color. Do you see that? It is pigmented, it is glossy, it's like a butter stick. That doesn't sound very good, but trust me, it's incredible. I love those. And then the last lip product, if you really wanna splurge and do something super special and bougie for yourself because you work hard and you deserve a treat, the Westman Atelier lipsticks. Okay, let's talk about the packaging. Embossed hearts, just stop right now, okay? Beautiful twist down mechanism that is so smooth, but the cherry on the sundae, watch, wait. The magnetic closure sends me to another realm. I love that. I love how luxurious this feels, hefty, feels very weighted. It feels super luxe. The embossing of Westman Atelier is like etched into the tube. The gold. There is a small, tiny little mirror on the inside. It says Westman Atelier on here. A to Z, this packaging is phenomenal. The lipstick formula, the shade that I have is called Petal. These are the Lip Suede matte lipsticks. And suede is the most perfect, most accurate description of this lipstick. It is, I'm literally lost for words. Let me show you what Petal looks like. But look at how creamy and just velvety and smooth this looks. Just stop right now. That's Petal. I wore this yesterday and it smells kind of like cocoa, like a chocolatey scent. I love these. I think this formula is special. Now this is a treat. This is ultra luxe. I'm showing this because you're saving some money, so it helps a little bit offset the cost of a $50 lipstick. I know it's expensive, but truly, she's stunning. She's gorgeous. If you want a treat for yourself, an early holiday gift for yourself, you deserve it. So go for it. And I know I said that was my last lip product, but I forgot that I had this off to the side. The Lip Velvets from ABH. 2 shades. Kiss is my absolute favorite because it has that pink tone. And then the other one that is a little bit more nude and just slightly more pale is Pure Hollywood. Lip Velvet is a very accurate description again. This is a modern take on the classic old school matte formulas, but the packaging is beautiful. The applicator is perfection. It holds just the right amount of product. This is a shade called Kiss. It's velvety, it's smooth, it's matte, it is luxurious, it is divine. It is a lot drier in formula compared to the Velvet Suede from the Westman Atelier lipstick. This is going to dry down and stay on all day long. So if you're looking for a long wear lip product that feels comfortable and hydrating, this is what you need. I'm not a matte lip kind of gal. That is my least favorite lip finish, but these, I will wear them every day, all day, because I love this formula. It feels incredible on the lips. And wow, have we been talking for so long. I hope this video is helpful. I will also link to other videos that I've done in the past for sale recommendations. I still stand by my recommendations in those videos. I just wanted to give you some newer products, some different ideas, bring something new to the table that I actually think are really great. This year has been incredible for product launches at Sephora, and I do think that if you buy any of these products, you will absolutely love them. The formulas are just elite. Like I said at the start, these products are definitely worth the investment. Now that we can save a little bit of money, this is a great time to take advantage of the sale and try something different, something new, something you've had your eye on this whole year. This is the time. Let me know in the comments what you plan on picking up at the sale. Are you gonna restock some of your favorites? Are you gonna try something new? Are you gonna step out of the box and buy something special? I would love to know. And of course, when I shop the sale, I am gonna do a haul because I gotta share with my besties everything that I bought. So stay tuned for that. Let me know your thoughts on these products. If you tried them, please share your comments. It might be helpful to someone else to see someone else's perspective on these formulas. Thanks for being here, for watching. Happy shopping. Everything is gonna be listed and linked for you down below with the code and the dates for you. So expand that description box. I will see you in my next video. Take care, you guys. Talk soon. Bye-bye.